Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to do a couple of warm-up exercises. Warming up is actually crucial when it comes to training, especially if you're trying to target your glutes. So why is warming up so important? So let's say you have a sedentary job or you spend the majority of your day sitting down on your glutes before you jump into a workout. You want to make sure you activate your muscles. So I always spend, I would say, about 15 minutes or 15 to 20 minutes of my time really focusing on activating and warming up, because remember, I don't know if you've ever heard of this expression before, but glutes are known to be sleeping giants, so they do not tend to really participate that much during a workout, so you really need to make sure you activate them and warm them up properly before you actually work out. I always tend to do a warm-up exercise that targets every single side of my glutes, because there are three different muscles that compose your glutes: glute maximus, minimus, and medius. So I always want to make sure I target every single one of them before my actual workout. You cannot jump into a heavy weight before being ready to do it, because you can injure yourself, and as well other muscles will tend to take over, like your quads for example. So you want to make sure you're there ready to wake up the actual muscles. Anyway, you don't have to change your routine every single time you train, especially for your warm-up exercises. This is so underrated. I'm going to show you different warm-up exercises that you can try, and then I would say pick 3 of your favorite ones and really stick to those rather than just keep changing all the time. So yeah, let's get into it. So for the first exercise, we're going to need a resistance band. Now I tend to feel it more in my glutes when I use a resistance band. I'll put the link to the ones I use in the description below in case you wanted to buy them too. The first exercise is going to be a squat with an abduction. So the reason why I'm doing an abduction at the end is because, as I said before, I want to make sure I engage every single side of my muscles, and by abducting I'm engaging also my side booty. And when I go down with a regular squat, I usually engage my gluteus maximus, which is the biggest part of your glutes. So that's how we do it. We just place the resistance band just above your knees. What you want to do is just squat and then abduct. Ooh, I can really feel it. So what happens is, while I squat, I'm really stretching my gluteus maximus and activates my gluteus maximus. And when I do this little abduction, I'm also engaging the side booty over here. And squeeze at the top. So next exercise is the hip thrust, but we're going to do it elevated. So we're going to make sure you use a box where you're going to rest your shoulder blades, and an aerobic stepper where you're going to put your feet. The reason why I'm doing a hip thrust this way is because when you're elevated, the elevation usually allows you to go even deeper and have a bigger stretch on your glutes, which means you're doing a fuller rep as well. So it means that you're engaging your muscle a little bit more there. So I'm going to show you how I do it. And what I like to do is just slightly lift my feet up so that I'm focusing all the weight and putting all the weight on my heels. And then really go as deep as you can, almost touching the floor. Just coming up, abduct, squeeze. Okay. next exercise is going to be the fire hydrant. So I'm sure you've seen it doing it before at the gym, and it's quite a popular exercise. The reason why I like to do it is because it really targets your side booty. One variation that I do with this exercise that not a lot of people do is to basically, I'm going to show you one of the top tips for you there. I like to rest on, so a lot of people will do it just keeping their arms straight, but I like to actually lean and just rest on my elbows instead. The reason why I do that is because I feel like I can target my glutes more if I rest on my elbows rather than on my palms, really. So you can try that for yourself and see if it works. I personally feel like I can feel the exercise in my glutes more if I do it this way. But you can try it for yourself and see it. That's how I feel like it works for me. I'm going to do it first this way so you guys can see how I do it. So I'm going to keep one arm slightly bent and I'm going to rest on my elbow and just open this leg. So smooth. 1, 2, 3. Clamps now, and keep your feet together. So a lot of people doing when they do this exercise to open, so to detach their feet. So anyway, you need to keep your feet together throughout the whole exercise. So it's quite simple. So as well, I like to add a resistance band, but this time, rather than place it above my knees, I like to place it where exactly my knees are. The reason why I'm doing this is because this way, if you change the position of the resistance band just a little bit, as I told you, you'll tend to feel it more on your glutes. So I like to just move it a little bit where my knees are. Just literally open, close. That is a clamshell or clam exercise. So a lot of people tend to do that. Keep your feet together during the whole movement. Exercise, I actually saw it. I think Brett Contreras posted this exercise. By the way, if you don't know him, you should follow him because it's just amazing. And I basically read all these articles. So you want to point your foot downward because that way you will target. So you'll target your side booty more, basically. So that's how you do it. About 20 reps of this, trust me, your glutes will beg for mercy, basically. Will ask you, please stop doing this to me. One other exercise I like to do is a single leg deadlift. I like to do this by holding on to something. It could be a wall or a bar, anything you find at the gym, really. The reason why I like to hold onto something is because this is an exercise that requires a lot of balance, and if you do have it, great for you. What I like to do for this exercise is grab any weight. You can hold a dumbbell, a kettlebell, or a plate, like in my case. I'm going to use a resistance band, again for more tension. Just and lift my leg up as I go down. of the day is actually very simple yet very effective. Resistance band. You're just going to find any box, a bench, whatever works for you. So the majority of the times you want to place your resistance band above your knees, but for certain exercises like this one and the one that I showed you before, I like to place it just where my knees are, because I feel like I can feel the resistance more here than I do it here. It's just for myself, it's just how I feel like. You need to learn to listen to your body. If you feel like you're doing an exercise that should be targeting the glutes and you're feeling it elsewhere, like in your back, for example, it means that you're doing something wrong. Or I personally like to target more my glutes, so if I'm doing an exercise and I'm feeling it more on my quads, for example, I'll stop and I'll change the feet position and everything else, and then I'll just work out a better way to target my glutes more, because that's the way I like it. I like to isolate my glutes more rather than anything else. What you want to do is just simply perform an abduction with no weight. And the reason why we're not doing it again with no weight is to keep repeating the same thing, because I really want you to understand this. It's because when you're warming up, you do not want to use a lot of weight. So you want to work on first activating and waking your muscles up. Right, so enough with the talking now. And that's how I'm just performing an abduction, and I'm really feeling it on my side glutes. Again, this is one of the exercises that I would do, for example, before a heavy lift, before my split squats, for example, if I really want to make sure that I want to target my glutes. So I'll do this at the beginning, so I'll choose 3 exercises between all of these that I'll do at the beginning, and then I might repeat one again before a really heavy lift where I want my glutes to really take over, if that makes sense. So anyway guys, that is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the exercises. If you try them, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you would like to see more videos like this as well. And yeah, make sure you like and subscribe to support your gal. And yeah, I'll see you next week.